Hi everyone, good evening to all. We are just waiting for a few more people to join in. So we'll be starting the session in the next 1 or 2 minutes max. Aishwarya, by the time if there is a question, you can ask. So I'll just allow you to unmute yourself. Yeah, Aishwarya, now you can unmute yourself. Go ahead, please. What's your question? Aishwarya, you there? Okay, I'll just lower your hand then. Okay. I'll just share my screen. Requesting all of you to please launch your Power BI by the time. So I don't have any. Okay. That's okay. That's fine. So even if you don't have a domain, that's totally okay. So as I said, domain is not mandatory. It's optional. If in case you want to use online platform, then only you need to use the domain. Else you do not require that. So in our case, we are not using a domain login. We are using a standard version of desktop. So just go to search and you can locate the application. So just go to search and try it out. Abdul, so just try that out. So go to start and just search for Power BI. It's as it is installed yesterday. It should be done directly. So you don't need to like locate it. It would be either on the desktop or on the application. So please start today's session by. Yes, definitely. We'll be starting with yesterday's. So yesterday, as I said, that was just a demonstration. Today, we'll be actually doing it in practical with the fresh data. So as you can see on my screen also right now, there is nothing available. So we'll be starting on the scratch itself. First, I'll help you understand the interface and then gradually we'll get into the output. Yep. So again, we're just waiting for a few more people. So there were around 300 plus parts. So once the number hits, let's say 200, or if the time clock hits 7:05, we will start. A few more minutes, guys. So not few more minutes, rather few more seconds. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So today agenda would be more over understanding Power BI and at least getting a kickstart of what and how Power BI works. So let me first help you understand the overall interface. Now, if you have launched Power BI, well and good. If not, that's fine. You can look into the screen. You will get an idea. And people who are not able to get themselves install Power BI, no worries. You can just watch and understand. Make a note of the pointers, what you're learning. And then whenever you're able to get it installed, you can refer this notes for that. Now, firstly, let's understand the overall interface here. So let me annotate first. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, that's better, I guess. So yeah, so first and foremost, let's understand the overall interface. So Power BI is actually divided into multiple phases. So if you see on the left side over here, there are three icons or three blocks to be specific. One icon represents a chart on it. Second icon represents a table on it, and the third icon represents kind of a multiple set of table on it. Let me explain you and make you understand what are these interfaces. So starting with the first one, it's a report view. Report view is where you actually see the entire working or entire reports and output. So the main screen, what you see at the center is your report view, and gradually, or let's say this dotted line, what you see is actually the working area. Working area automatically gets adjusted depending on the space. Now, let's say if I'm consuming a lot of space, the working area gets truncated automatically. As you can see now, the working area is shorter. There's a little bit of extra space at the bottom, which will be termed as a scrap area in this case. You cannot do anything in the scrap area, neither you can create anything there. Scrap area purpose is only to let you click and so that you can deselect the entire selection. So if you have selected something on the screen and then now you want to deselect it, then in that case you just click on the scrap area. That will allow you to deselect it. Now there are icons or greater than symbols over here. So in case you want to hide them or hide those tabs, you can just click on them and those particular tabs will automatically hide themselves. Whenever you need, you can call them back by using the same button. Similarly, you can also hide wherever you see these greater than and less than symbols. You can simply click on it and hide those interfaces directly. Now, in this case, I'll maintain it. I'll keep it open as we will need to discuss them. Now, coming to the next part is the data view here. Clicking on the data view allows me to see the realistic data. Let's say whatever data you load. Normally, it will be on a tabular format. And when I say tabular format, it will be a set of columns and rows. Those information now you want to understand or you want to see at a data level, then you can click on this particular interface to see those data. Some of us are comfortable with first understanding the data in Excel format and then gradually working it out. So for those people who wants to view the data and then work it out, then you use this particular interface. Followed by that, if you come to the next interface, which is the model view. Model view allows you to see the data and create connection. As you can see on the screen here, it allows you to create interconnections between the tables. Let's say this is the first table, this is the second table, and this is the third table. There's an interconnection between them. Kind of a, let's say if you want to talk in terms of Excel, you can say like a VLOOKUP, or you can say like a connection between the data. So to make those connections, all these things or all the connections can be done in this case, also termed as RDBMS. RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So all that is possible in the third icon. And to support those options, to the right side, there are fields and properties. There are fields and properties. Like for example, in here, on the model view, you have the field section where you will see all the tables and options. Under the property section, you will be seeing all the properties of that relationship, like maybe left join, right join. Again, these are all jargons right now. As we progress further, you will understand it with more detail. Coming to the next output here, the data. On the data side, you will only have one interface, that's data, which will allow you to see more than one data set. Let's say if in case there are 3 to 4 sheets or 3 to 4 data models that you have uploaded, just by clicking on those data models, you can see those data directly on the screen. As simple as that. You don't have to basically navigate, or there is no option that you will have to click on new sheet or something to navigate to multiple sheets. Just click on the model on the right side. Automatically on the left, you will be seeing those particular sheets directly. Last but not the least, as the first interface, on the right side, you will be seeing visualization section and a field section. Apart from that, there is a hidden section called filter. This is used whenever you want to filter something at a report level or a page level. We will be learning this at the end. And right now, I'm keeping a pause over here. So I'm just hiding that for now. Now coming to the visualization part here. Here there are a collection of charts, and you can see on the top, there are 2 icons. One with double, let's say green block, one with a page on a brush. Okay. So what is this meaning? These are properties. The first interface that you see is the properties. Means if you make a chart, anything related to the chart will be visible over here. For example, if I make up a chart, let's say I take a bar chart. So I'll just click on this and I get a stack bar. Now anything regarding this field or anything with reference to this particular chart is available over here. X-axis, Y-axis, data labels, all those things will be plotted here. In case you delete it and nothing is selected, it means the page is selected. It means the page is selected. And in that case, all the page related functionalities are okay. Next is the brush. Normally, I call it as a brush, but in reality, it's formatting. Currently, nothing is selected. That's why it shows you the page formatting, because the page is selected as always. But if you select any object or if you select any visual, then you get a chart with a brush on it, indicating it's a chart property. Throughout the session, I'll be referring this as a brush. So in future, if I say, okay, let's click on the brush icon, what I'm referring to this particular icon here. And the next part is the binocular or the magnifying glass in this case. So the magnifying glass is for analysis, for additional help or additional benefit that we can get in. So this is basically an overall understanding of the frame. The next comes is the menus. But before I go to the menu, are we clear with these three icons on the left side and the panels on the right? If yes, please help me in the chat box with a yes. Great, I have a response, that's good. Awesome, guys. Okay, perfect. So let's move down to the next one. So let me clear all these lines and diagrams. Now coming to the next output here. The next thing what I have is, let me take a mouse. The next thing is the menu on the top side. To control these, now as I said earlier, so you will be having from home all the way down to the help tab. You may not have this external tools because that's an additional feature and additional functionality. Now you may also not have format and drill through because I've actually created a chart at my end. So let me delete that. That's a voluntary tab. Anything which is in white background, anything which has a white background, so it means basically it's a voluntary tab. It will only appear whenever it's needed, and whenever it's deselected, it will go back. You didn't have the okay, so you do not have the magnifying glass. That's because even I don't have it. Magnifying glass appears only when an object or a chart is selected. It's an additional property. Again, it's also a voluntary tab. It only appears when it is needed. So that's why it's not visible right now, even at my end. Okay, cool. What is the use of magnifying? Yeah. So coming to the same point, the use of magnifying glass is to analyze the report. Let's say, for example, if you have a timeline and you want to forecast the data for the next 5 years, let's say you have the past 20 years record and you want to forecast it for the further 5 years, considering the last records. So it gives you the forecasting output, something on that line. Vinayak, as I mentioned earlier, so external tools will not be available. That is one of the reasons I've only highlighted till help. So all of you guys will have the option till the help tab. Beyond that, the icons won't be visible because those are something that you will need to install separately. Drill down option in Excel. Yes, there is an option. So you can use pivot table drill down. The same concept is over there. So yeah, so coming back here. Okay, great. So in this, these are home. So anything that's frequently used by a user would be found in the home tab. So basically, Microsoft has created these options in such a way that it makes it easy for us to understand. Anything that's frequently used by us is actually there in the home tab. Anything that you will use on a regular basis will be there in the home tab of every software of Microsoft. You pick up Excel, you pick up Word, you pick up PowerPoint. Anything that's frequently used, you will find it in the home tab. Formatting, filter, like find, replace, anything on that line. Anything that you want to insert or you want to bring into your page, you will find in the insert tab. Anything that you want to modify, or let's say you want to build something at your end as a separate element, you can find it in the modeling tab, where you are allowed to create a new table, new row, new column, so on and so forth. Next is the view tab in case you want to change the appearance of the interface, you want to change some let's say analytical output, then you can go to the view. Option is newly introduced recently. That is basically to understand the performance of your data. If in case you want to add any visual, then based on that to do so. So these are recently introduced. So even if you are not having it, it's fine. You will be having it in the existing tabs itself, if in case you are using an older version. Last but not the least, the help tab, in case you want to reach out to Microsoft, your software is giving you a problem, even for free version, guys, by the way. So if your software is giving a problem or you're trying to do something and it is giving a hiccup or a glitch, you can reach out to Microsoft and Microsoft will definitely come back with the response. What is the reason and so on and so forth. That's where the help tab is for. The next best thing that Microsoft does is it groups the entire tabs and sections. For example, if you see at the left bottom, there is a word called clipboard. Under clipboard, all the clipboard related options are available. Let's say, for example, cut, copy, paste, format. Anything with reference to data is dumped under the data group. A section is called over here, data. So you get data, get Excel, SQL, enter data, so on and so forth. Anything in terms of query connection that you have it over here. Now, how are we going to use it? So if in case in future, I ask you to click on get data. So rather than me saying come to the home tab and click on get data, you will have to search from the left all the way to the right side. So you'll be searching for every icon here. To avoid that, I'll be specifying under the home tab, under the section data, look for get data. So that way you will have to only look into this small section. And that would make things easy for us. I hope this still here, everything is clear to all. If yes, please type a yes on the chat box. If no, please let me know. Okay, great. Perfect, guys. You can give a thumbs up also using the reaction. I'm okay with that as well. Both ways, I'll get the message. So that's fine by me. Awesome. Cool, guys. Okay. Now let's play around with the data. So now you at least understand the interface. And going forward, if I know, basically you will understand. Okay. Just a sec. Can you explain shortly what? Okay. Okay. So, okay, basically in just maybe 1 or 2 minutes, I'll help you understand. So basically, I just explained the overall interface. Where is what, basically the tabs, the menu, the ribbons, and the options. Now coming to the second question, in terms of data wise, basically this is an SQL connection, which actually gives you a direct query connection. So let's say if you have an SQL data and you want to connect the data directly, because there are two options. One is you can copy the data from SQL and put it into your Power BI. And on a scheduled refresh, the data will be refreshing itself. That is one option. The second option that you can have is basically put it on a refresh mode, or rather put it on a live output. So for a live output, let's say if you want to have like just you did an entry in SQL and you want to see the data here, that would be a live connection. So if in case you want to have that, then you can use the second option in this case. I hope that answers the question, but for that you need server and those level of outputs. So you won't be able to work only with client, because normally we use client output. You will also need server level systems as well. Like you need to set up a server inside your system, SQL, and then you have to work it out. I hope that answers your question. Indrali. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Indrali. And Kapil as well. Cool. Okay, so now as we all are working for the first time in Power BI post all the settings, let's use the sample data. Now, this is something that we have done yesterday, so I'm repeating it now, but I'll go slow so that everyone can do the same step with me. So I would request all of you guys to please click on the fourth icon from the center of your screen, which says try a sample data. Click on the fourth icon on the center of your screen, which says try a sample data. I'll take a pause of 15 seconds so that everyone can do it. Great. Now, once you are here, now Microsoft has made it easy for us so that in case if you are new to the platform or in case you are new to this tool, you are also given the opportunity to learn a little bit at the basic level. For that, on the left side of the screen, you would be seeing an option called Learning Tutorial. If you see on the left side of the screen, like I just hover the mouse, so you can see here, this section is showing you learning tutorials, which will give you Microsoft related videos, YouTube links, and all those stuffs where you can watch the videos. But in case you want to download and try it in practical, because majority of us are in the world where we try it out physically. So in that case, you try the second option. So I would request all of us, please click on load sample data. Load sample data. On clicking on it, it will search the path which is by default set by Power BI during installation. And it will locate the folder from where the file can be extracted. So as you can see, it has located the Excel file. It has launched it, and you should be able to see two data set. If you guys are able to see two data set at your end as well, please type number 2 in the chat box. That's an indicator for us that all of us are at this navigator interface. Not 22. Okay. So I'll just wait for a minute over here so that everyone can reach till here. Okay, some of you guys are facing issue. No worries, I'll repeat it. So on the main screen, I repeat, on the main screen, the fourth icon. Let me do one thing. Here, on the fourth icon, click on this icon. Click on this icon. That will allow you to select a choice. To select a choice called load a sample data. Load a sample data. Click on that. It will prompt an interface of Excel. Basically, it is searching for the path, and that Excel path will open up in the front, showing you the files, one below the other. So we are stopping at this. We are taking a pause at this point. Tipu, would you mind putting your question in the chat? Akash, for now, you can take a pause for Excel extra tools. So external tools can be done on the latest stage. So that's an advanced tool for development. So if you go in, but basically you'll have to install it separately. But for that, you'll have to understand the DAX. You need to understand the table query. So post that only, it will be helpful. So just installation will just simply take up your space. So I'd recommend not installing it right now. But yeah, if in case you want to explore it, feel free to do so. Okay, perfect. If this window is there on the system, perfect. Let's take a pause here. Okay, now, once this window is here, there are two interfaces on which you can click and see the data. One is finance. The second is sheet 1. Finance is a section inside sheet 1. Basically, you can take it like sheet 1 is the ocean and finance is a creek, which is connected to that ocean or which is formed by that ocean. You can put it anyways. So that's basically what it is. So sheet is a huge collection of information. From that huge collection, you are just seeing a sample in finance. Because there might be situations where you are having one Excel file with multiple data into it. Maybe one set of information aside to that second set. In that case, I would recommend selecting finance. In our case, I know that there is only one data, that's sheet 1. So for us, I would request you all to click on sheet 1. Don't activate the checkbox, just click on it. Alfia, tell me what's your question in the chat, please. Lebby, you will have to download it separately. So as we had done it yesterday, you have to download the software and install it. Post that, you will have Power BI on your system. Sheet is popping and nonsense. Yes, that would be the correct interpretation. Namita, exactly, the entire population you can consider as sheet, and a population of a set or a sample would be considered as the finance sheet. Perfect, perfectly portrayed. If you have a question, please put in the chat. If not, I'll be lowering your hand. Okay. So coming down now, what is the benefit of clicking? Clicking is kind of a preview. Before you load the data, if you want to understand whether the data that you are loading is correct or wrong, you normally are recommended to use the preview option. Preview helps you to understand whether you are selecting the right data or not, because sometimes there might be a situation that you will just see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Clicking on the data helps you understand whether the data that you're loading is correct or not. So in this case, we clicked on sheet 1, and on the right side, you'd be seeing a set of data. I would request you to just scroll through the data, take 5 minutes, understand the data, and tell me what is the data that you're seeing right now. What is this data depicting? What is this data all about? Can anyone just help me? Just help me in the chat box. So looking at the data after going through the entire line, what do you think is this data? Because that's the first step of Power BI, understanding the data. It's not finance data. Although the title is finance, it's not finance data. Yeah, I do got some correct answers. That's good. That's good. Oh, that was even better. Finance data with a specific year. That's good. Perfectly done, guys. Perfectly done. Exactly. This is a sales data from the year 2013 to the year 2014. Perfectly done. That's exactly correct. That's exactly the right answer. So basically, we need to first understand the data before even we start with the working. That's the first key to it. Not just plotting the data and start using it. So always remember this, guys. Whenever in the future, if you are working on a data, always take out 5 minutes to understand the data so that you know exactly what you are getting at. So because if you put that 5 minutes, that will help you to save your, let's say, future half an hour to 45 minutes. So that you don't have to explain, or you don't need the explanation from anyone else to understand the data. Now let's confirm this. As we know, this is the correct data. Let's use the checkbox to confirm it. So post checking it on, at the bottom, you would be seeing a button got activated called load and transform. For now, please ignore the transform button. Let's focus on the load. Basically, once you're confirming it to Power BI that this is the data that you want, you can click on load data and the data will be loaded directly. Please get this done, and once your yellow bar disappears, yellow bar will appear and it will disappear automatically once the box is off. Once it disappears, and on the right side you see sheet 1, please type done in the chat box. Only on the right side, if you see fields, then and then only please type done in the chat. That will be the indicator for us that we have reached to the stage 1 of data loading. We have reached the first stage of data loading. So now we have a data on which we can play around. So I'll take 2 minutes over here for you guys. I only have few people. Sheet 1 visible. Yes, definitely. Sheet 1 would be visible on the right side under fields. That's a confirmation that our data has been loaded. You can consider that as a confirmation that the data has been loaded. Perfect. It should not show that message the size is large. Just try canceling it and loading it again. So if in case if that happens, Zaiba, I would request you to please close your Power BI once, refresh your screen, try it again. Refresh your screen and try it again. Just relaunch your Power BI. Maybe there might be a small hiccup. Just try it out. I don't mind waiting for another minute more. Just let me know in the chat if there is still the problem. Kapil, tell me what's your question in the chat, please. Again, Leela, same to you. Please mention your question in the chat. Because if I ask you to unmute, then I guess there is an audio issue because I'm not able to hear anyone. So I would request you to please put your questions in the chat so that I can help you with as I read it. Anik, same for you. Please help me with your questions in the chat. Okay, cool. Okay. Now, part 1 of okay. Can we get system ID? Yes, we will definitely get icons and symbols to identify what data type it is. Definitely like similar to Tableau. Yes. So, okay, now as I was coming to that itself, so if you see on the right side, this is just sheet 1 with no information right now. It just says that, okay, I've added sheet 1, but where are the columns? To see the columns, please use the greater than symbol.
Sir, it is loaded only, sir.
Loaded, fine, perfect, perfect.
It is not loading, sir. It is not activated.
It's not activated. Okay, you are not able to see sheet 1, or it's just saying loading?
I can see the sheet, sir, but loading button, I am clicking, it is not activated mode.
You'll have to check the option sheet 1 on the left side. So you see there is a small box on the left side prior to sheet 1. Just next to sheet 1, there will be a small square.
Okay, I got it, sir. Thank you.
Turn it on, then you will have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Now come on the right side here, as I was saying. So once you open the greater than symbol, it shows you all the columns, or it shows you all the fields that you have loaded from that Excel sheet. And with that, it also gives you the icon indicating what is the column holding inside it. For example, if you see here, the sigma value indicates it's a number. The sigma value indicates it's a number. The date indicates it's a date. The calendar indicates it's a date. In future, you'll be seeing some geolocation. You'll be seeing a globe. Globe indicates geolocation. And the best part here is it also gives you, or it also provides you some predefined outputs. For example, you have date over here, right? You have a greater than in date also. You already understand that if you open a greater than, you get more options. So if you open the greater than here, you get a date hierarchy. And if you open it further, you get all the date related fields here: year, quarter, month, and date, one below the other. So without even putting the effort, you can get year-on-year report, month-on-month report, quarter-on-quarter report with just one click here. You don't even have to create those columns in here. Power BI is doing that for you guys. Perfect. The one thing I need to do here is I need to tag this particular sheet so that I know this is a sample data. So please double click on sheet 1 tab. Double click on sheet 1 tab and give it a name sample. And press an enter to confirm it. So if the column is a category, categories are text, right? That means there is nothing. So if there is no icon, it's a text. If there's no icon, the left out is a text. So anything apart from the icon would be considered as a text. So even geolocation is a text. Post assigning it as a geolocation, it takes it as a geo data. All the Power BI is smart enough to understand a geolocation. Even if you don't tag it, it will understand it as a data, as a geolocation itself. Perfect, perfect. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 views. So let's see those views here first. Request all of you to come to the second view, that's a data view. By any chance, if the column is not visible, if the data is not visible, just click on any of the existing headings from the right side, and the data in those columns will be visible and the rest will also be visible. This is your data view. This is your data view where you actually see all the data one below the other. And the best part is additional informations are provided at the bottom. So you can see how many records are loaded, plus if any calculations, then based on the selected column, the calculations to it and so on. So you can see there are 700 records and the unit sold in total that is distinct is 510. Let's say, for example, if I select country in this case. So it says me there are 700 rows, there are unique 5 value countries. That means in the totality, I have 5 unique countries that I'm doing business with. Let me know in the chat if the answers are same for you guys. I'll keep you guys muted, guys, because it's been unmuting unnecessary. Okay. Please post your question in the chat now. No doubt. That's great. That's great. Perfect. Umesh, the data file is already there with Power BI itself. The data file is already there with Power BI. You just have to click on the sample data. It will load automatically. So, okay, just repeating the last step. What I did here is I just clicked on the data view to see the data. That's all what I've done. I've not done much. It's just a view output. It's just a view output. Post this, I will request all of you to come to the third view, the model view. Please click on the third view, the model view. The model view in this case, as you can see, it gives you the, like I would say, a tower view. So where is tower view used? Whenever you are using SQL or whenever you are using relationship. You want to make the system understand how are these towers or how are these tables interconnected to each other. For example, let's say, let me diagrammatically show it to you guys. Let's say there is a table on the left called employee and there is a table on the right called salary. Okay, so let me tag them here. This is the table for employee. And let's say here there's a table for salary. Now in the left side, on the left side of the screen, there is employee ID, employee name, let's say total salary per month or let's say annual per annum, allotted, contact number, and details, other details, let's say. Okay, this is the left table. On the right side, you will see salary wise output. Let's say there is a salary. So all the employee numbers working with me, their total monthly salary, then the breakup of HRA, DA, conveyance, tax, and everything one below the other. Tell me, in this situation, what's the common element between the salary table and the employee table? What's the common element between the salary and the employee table? Yes, I did get the correct answer. That's really good. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Exactly. The employee ID that you referred is the correct element. The employee ID from the employee table is matching to the salary table as well. That's the exact element. And if you realize the direction of the data is from left to right, the direction is from left to right. So when such direction appears, you will be seeing something like 1 on the left side, and you will be seeing a star. You will be seeing a star on the other side. This is an indicator of one-to-many relationship. This is an indicator of one-to-many relationship. Means one record from employee table is repeating many number of times in the salary, and definitely that's the fact, because one employee will have salary for 12 months, and because it's 12 months, I would have month-on-month salary breakup. So that's why this is a one-to-many relationship, and this is called RDBMS, Relational Modeling System, Relational Database Management System. So Kamuju, basically take it like this. On the, you are maintaining 2 books. One book, you are holding all the employee details. Second book, you are only holding the salary details. How can you connect both the tables? By using a common element of employee ID. Or let me put another example. So you are going to bank. So in a bank, you are not the only person who have the account, right? So many people are there. So that becomes bank. So employee, or in this case, customer detail will be the left. Now, customers will definitely do a lot of transaction throughout the day or throughout the year, throughout the month. All the transaction gets stored in the transaction table. Now, if I want to understand how many records or how many transactions did I do in the month of Jan, Feb, March, then I have to have the connection, right? That's where the account number comes in the picture. So the account number is common in those two variables. I hope Kamji, you understand the point now. If it is clear, please type clear. Okay, great guys. Others, I would request you all to please let me know in the chat if things are clear now. What's one to many and how the connections are done. At least the diagrammatical part, not the realistic one. Great guys, great, awesome. Now let's clear this and let's come down. So basically this kind of table or this kind of hierarchy, what you create here is what the relationship model was. Let's come down to a primary interface now. So let's play around a little bit now. So in the report view now, I want to make some charts. I want to play around a little bit. So to do that, what I would request here is I want all of us to try this. Drag profit, the number field, onto the screen. Drag the number field onto the screen. Drag the number field onto the screen. You would see Power BI understands that it's a numerical data and you are trying to do a comparison. So Power BI directly gives you a bar chart automatically. Power BI directly gives you a bar chart. And the second best thing is you can simply hold it and place it wherever you want. You can also use the corner to expand it a little bit bigger, make it shorter, adjust it however you want it. And the third best thing that I like a lot about Power BI is that when you're trying to arrange it, it actually shows you a red dot indicating that you are at the middle of the page, which helps you to do the alignment of the object. Even if you have a second object, let's say if you have a second object and you are trying to align it, it shows you exactly for the second alignment also, whether you are in line with the previous one. So to that extent, Power BI is smart. But anyways, we'll be working on the first one for now. Are we all having the same output? If same, please type same in the chat. So we should have a profit bar, a total profit bar. You hover the mouse onto it, you will see the total profit as well. That is 1,68,97,702.26. That's the total profit across the business. Total profit across the business. Perfect. Come to the next output here. Now I want to break this profit into sections. I want to break this profit into multiple sections. So let's say I want to see about product-wise output. So what I can do is I can drag product into the bar chart. That gives me product-wise breakup of the profit. And the best part is when you hover the mouse, it gives you further information of the same. This box that's floating Yes, that's correctly mentioned. This box that's floating is called as the tooltip. So once you hover the mouse on this particular bar, it will show you the information, and that information is termed as tooltip. This is termed as tooltip. Please complete till here. Make a small bar. Make a small bar and then plot the profit. Plot product into it. So let me repeat again. So you already have a bar with you guys right now, right? What you need to do is just drag this product and drop it into the bar chart here. It will automatically create product-wise profit. So Power BI automatically recognize the output and plots the information one beside the other. Try this out, guys, at your end. And please type done once it is through. Let me check the chat. Oh, I guess I unknowingly clicked somewhere else. Let me share the screen back again. There we go. There we have it. Yeah, let me just check the chat. So can you? Yes, definitely I can. So the first step was dragging profit onto the screen. Second step was dragging product into it. That way I get product-wise profit. Great. Completely here. I'll take a pause of maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, that's correct. So basically the bar with the highest interface has the highest profit, and the bar with the lowest interface or the lowest length has the lowest profit. Perfect. That's correct. Radha, tell me what's your question. You can unmute yourself. Let me just allow you to unmute first. Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Okay, I'll just take a pause of 15 seconds if there is a question. If not, I'll move ahead. Amol, go ahead. What's your question? You can unmute yourself. If not, please post your question in the chat if you're not able to unmute yourself. Why it takes some? Yes, it definitely takes some profit by default. That's because by default the aggregation or by default the calculation is summation. That's why it is taking sum. So any calculation that you pick up, the default calculation would be sum, right? Let's say if I talk in terms of month-on-month report or monthly sales. So basically monthly sales is an aggregation of a day level, right? That's why the default calculation is sum. If you want to pick up any other calculation, we can do that, and we will be learning how to do so in the future. Okay, great, great. Now the next output here is arranging. I want to arrange this data. So what I do is I'll arrange this on the left side, and using the corner, the guideline, what you see on this dotted lines are called guidelines. Using the guideline, you will fix your visual to 1/4 of your screen. Whatever your screen size is, you will fit it to the 1/4 window of your screen. Please complete till here and type done in the chat box once you are done. So guys, to make a bar graph, you just plot profit first onto the screen, then drag product into it, and you will get the bar chart directly. Great, great. Just wait for a few more to. Okay, awesome. Now, once this is done, now let's try the second version of the output. So, bar chart is ready. Now, let's go down to globe or a Google output, where you can see map and other plottings. So, okay. So, to identify what value to drop in the fields, basically, as for now, we are not focusing on X and Y. But when it comes to that, it's basically parameters and attributes. So once you understand which is a parameter, which is an attribute, things becomes easy. So we'll come to that, no worries. Now, let's come down to the next visual, which is a geolocation. Now, I know that country is a geolocation, and fortunately, we have done our settings as well. If you remember, we have done our settings yesterday where we have tagged it. We have tagged our Power BI to understand geolocation as well. So drag country, drop it on the screen. Drag country and drop it on the screen. You will be seeing 5 dots getting plotted onto the screen directly. If yes, with the map on the screen, please type done in the chat box. If you are dragging and you are getting 5 map or 5 dots plotted on a map chart, please type done on the screen. Any questions still here? Please ask before I proceed further. So if map and field map visuals are disabled is the message, that means you have not done the setting yesterday. Request you to please get that settings done so that you can activate it. Everything is on. Okay. Prajwal, what's the question? Can you come again? I didn't get the question actually. So please repeat your Mahindra, coming to the same point. So the data is something that you have loaded directly from Power BI. It's not from my end. So something that's already there in Power BI. No, you don't have to save the setting. Once you don't turn it on, Power BI automatically does the setting save. You don't have to do that. I'm not getting the country option. So again, okay, so let me repeat the last step once again. To get the country, you just have to drag country and drop it on the screen. Automatically, a map will be plotted with the dots into it. If it is not appearing, you can save your file, you can save your Power BI into your desktop, like a normal Excel save. Close your Power BI, restart, like refresh your screen once and try relaunching it. You should be seeing dots on the screen. Like you can see here, there are 5 dots in total, which is location-based dots. Okay. Business intelligence. The full form of BI is business intelligence. So if you are getting a line, that means you might have selected a wrong chart. You may be seeing something else altogether. So your chart selection might have gone wrong. So please make sure the correct chart is selected. Okay. Come to the next output here. Now I have these circles in here. I want to see the value of the circle. So what I do is I drag sales and drop it on the map. So basically, if the circle is bigger, the sales is bigger. If the circle is small, then vice versa. Amol, please type your question in the chat. Once your visual is ready, I request you all to please place it at the bottom left and try to adjust it with the above visual. So that means your two visuals are done, and basically you have started to build your first dashboard of Power BI. Please complete it here. Repeat again once you are done till here. Please type done, or I'll just wait for another 30 seconds more and then I'll proceed further. Guys, if maps are not loading, there can only be two reasons. One's the setting. Second is the version. So third thing is only the glitch, and the glitch can be resolved by terminating the file and relaunching it by refresh. You are not getting the country option. I'm believing you are saying you are not getting the country field itself. To get the country field, you have to first load the data. And to load the data, you will have to first come to get data. The first thing in the start we did, right? We clicked on sample data. You will have to perform that. To do so, you will get the sample data. What is loaded? You should have it. Prajwal, can you share your screen once, if possible? I'll stop my screen. If you can share your screen, that way I can help you a little bit better. If not, then you got to see what alternative. Okay. Let me just hold on a sec. Yeah, it's enabled now. Can you come down to the data view? Have you deleted that column then? Is that what my question? Because you have other columns and the only column which is not visible is country. See, on the country is there. You have hidden it. I did not show to hide. So you might have hidden it. So right click on it and please click on unhide. Yeah. So you have hidden it. So please do not do such things, please. That takes up time. Yeah. Amol, any questions? Please post your question in the chat. Welcome. Okay. So coming back here. So you have the two visuals ready. Now let's start with a tabular output. So when you drag a number onto the screen, you get a bar chart. These are default settings. Yeah, you might have done it by mistake. No issues. That happens. So just be mindful of what you are clicking on. Yeah. Second, when you drag a country or a location, a geolocation, you get a map-based output. But if you drag a field where Power BI is not able to recognize it, it gives you a table. So let's understand this. For example, I have discount band. Power BI does not understand exactly what is it. Drag discount band on the screen and you would be seeing 4 lines getting plotted one below the other. 4 lines getting plotted one below the other. Please give it a try. That's because Power BI is not understanding exactly what field it is. So it simply gives you a tabular output. Try this out. Perfect. Please type done in the chat if you're able to complete this. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Another 30 more seconds and then we'll start with our output. Great. So in this case, when it's a table, you can plot information directly onto it itself. For example, if you want sales, you can drag sales directly. Let's say I want sales now. Drag sales and drop it into it. You would get the table directly for sales. Sorry. You'll get sales value directly. You drag, let's say, discount. Not discount ban, sorry. We cancel it. You drag discount into it, you get discount value. You drag gross sale into it, you get the gross sale value. And last but not the least, you drag profit, you get the profit value directly. So simply dragging and dropping a number plots the data one below the other. Dragging and dropping number into it plots the data for that information one below the other. Please try this out at your end and you should be seeing all the numbers one beside the other. To create a table, I repeat again, just plot a text onto the screen. The text that I used was discount band. So when you drag discount band on the screen, because it's a text, it does not understand what it has to be plotted into. It makes a table out of it. So when Power BI is not able to understand, it simply creates this default, which is a table. Please try this out at your end, and once you're through, please type done. Perfect. So the numbers are not same because in my case, it's in decimal. I'll help you understand how to format it. No worries. So we have not started yet much, right? Perfect. Now, let's say in this case, I have the data. I'm not able to see the number clearly, first and foremost. I want to make this bigger, a little bit bigger. Secondly, I don't want these decimal points. I don't want them. So I have to remove them. So how do I do it? So to format your table or to change the appearance You just have to click on the actual columns. Do not, I repeat, do not click on the column here. It won't make sense. What you need to do is you have to click on the column name. Secondly, please do not use the checkboxes here. If you turn off the checkbox, basically you're unticking or removing it from the field. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. Just click on the name. When you click on the name, it's an indirect way of representing that the column is selected. So for Power BI, it's a direct way of selecting a column. For us, it's to understand, it's an indirect way. So click on the sales, that will end up selecting the column. And once the column is selected, a voluntary tab appears called column tools. A voluntary tab appears called column tool. Now where you can have all the column related properties. So you have 4 tabs: form, data drill, table tools, and column tools. The one I am looking for is column tools right now. So click on column tools and click on comma separator. Comma separator is an indicator for comma based value. So I'm setting sales into a comma separator. It means whenever I'm using sale, it will always show me in comma separators. Second, I do not want decimal. So I'll put it as 0. There is number 2. I put 0 over there. That way I'm telling the system I do not want decimal. So you can see the decimals are gone. I do the same for the discount as well. Comma separator. Comma separator. 0 decimal. Similarly for the third one as well, that is gross sales. I repeat the same. Request all of you to perform this output. And last but not the least, the profit. Complete here till here, and please type done in the chat box. SQL, what's your question? Please put it in the chat box. Yeah, it does take time for a little bit of operation. So that's why I'm giving you guys 1 minute interval, because I guess in the screen level also, whatever I'm doing, I guess for people on Zoom, it's a direct streaming. So you guys are able to see it on live, but maybe this is also available on YouTube. So there might be a hiccup of 1 or 2, like maybe not 1 or 2, but 10 seconds or 5 seconds. So I'm just taking a pause accordingly. How to get the column tools. To get the column tools, just click on the existing column. Just click on the column like profit, click on it. Automatically a voluntary tab of column tool will appear. Yes, Neha, tell me what's your question. Please put your question in the chat. Perfect, perfect. Now, please post your question in the chat. Okay. So another 30 more seconds and then I'll proceed further. Okay, great. Now, once we understand this, now if you see the column says sum of sales, sum of discount, sum of gross, sum of profit. I don't want sum everywhere. It's understood. It's total. So I like to have total sales, total discount, something like, or let's say just sales, discount, gross sales, and profit. That's it. I don't want these extra wordings. Now, if in case you want to change these wordings, you don't have to change the actual column because the actual column doesn't have those names here. So over here on the table fields, now here onwards, you'll be properly plotting the data. So once the table is selected, a tab or a section appears over here called columns. Every field that you have dragged here gets added in this column one below the other. Any and every column name, if you want to change, just double click here and make the necessary changes. So in this case, I want to replace this sales, sum of sales to only sales. I'll just remove sum of and I press an enter. See, automatically the column name changes here directly. And if that also helps you to reduce a little bit of space. I'll do the same with others as well. So in gross sales, I'll maintain the sales word. And the last one is profit. This way, if you see, I'm able to consume a little bit more space. So if you see that space is extra available, which I can work and use it later. Please complete till here. Kamju, yes, moreover, you can say Power BI is moreover same like Excel, but yeah, there are differences where Power BI shines a lot, like in terms of reporting, in terms of automation. So there are other things where Power BI does shine really well. What you're seeing here is just a tip of the iceberg. Power BI can do way more better than what we are doing here. So this is just a kickstart, I would say. So once you enroll for the full-fledged course, you will get a 24-hour flavor of the entire output. That's an extension of this. Like you understand relationship, you understand model, you understand deep level of DAX. So all those things will be taken care in the future. Definitely, yes. In terms of creating visuals and stuff, Power BI is a bit easier. Yes. Okay, guys. Now, okay, I hope everyone is done till here. So I'm proceeding further. Pandu, tell me what's your question. I can see your hands raised. I'll allow you to unmute. So please, you can unmute yourself. Any questions? If you're there. Guys, please. I'm not. So we can watch movies later. So please do not unnecessarily raise your hand. That pauses the session. Okay, so let me just resume back now. Okay, so once this is done, I'm really sorry, guys, for that interruption. Apology. Okay, so coming back here. So in this case, now I can see that little bit of space can be extended. Little bit of space can be extended. So how do I do that now? Now for that, we come to the brush. So I'd request all of you come to the brush option. Here we can see that there are menus and options available to play around with that table tab. Now the thing is, so please, any question, guys, please use the chat. I'm not allowing unmute anymore. Okay. So now coming back here. So in this case, if you see the brush has list of options, but the fact is, we are all, let's say, new to Power BI. All of us are new to Power BI here. Now, if I ask you to identify a location or a parameter, you'll have to open each and every tab and understand where is it, right? It will take a lot of time. Now, the easiest way where Power BI has made things easy for you is, you see there is a search bar here. You can literally search for that option directly. For example, I know I want to increase the font size. That means the word will have size in it. The option will have the word size in it, right? You just click here in the search bar and type size. Automatically, Power BI will list down all those options which has the word size into it. And that way things become easy for you. Even as a new user, Power BI would be comfortable for you guys. Even as a new user, Power BI will be comfortable for you. Just search through it, and then you would see visibly global font size. Just use the up arrow here to increase the font size to the best of it. So I'll stop at this and then cross it out. That's it. That's all what you will have to do. So it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. Please try it out and complete this. Please try it out and complete this. Any question, please post in the chat box. And if you are done, please type done in the chat. And if you enjoyed what you saw right now, whatever you have learned till now, please type a high five in the chat box. Just type a high five in the chat box if you enjoyed what you saw. Great, great. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the session. That's great. Definitely, I don't mind repeating the last part. So you select the visual. You select the visual and then simply search size. And that's it. And that's it. You'll end up getting all the options related to the size directly. So to remove the sum from the heading, just go to the field section and just double click on these existing fields. That way you are allowed to change the fields directly. That way you will be allowed to change the fields directly. Great, guys. Great. Now the last visual that we are about to create. We'll be creating that visual with the proper steps, guys. We'll be creating that visual with a proper step. Means we'll not be dragging and dropping. We'll be now using Power BI the way it is supposed to be used. Because going forward, drag and drop is not the solution. You'll be literally dropping the tools and options where it is supposed to be. So from here on, from this point on, we'll be actually using Power BI to its actual use. So till now, whatever was learned was to make you guys comfortable with Power BI. And I believe you guys are now quite comfortable with Power BI in terms of working with it. So let's start with the normal method. Now, in this case, I'm going to demand or I'm going to use a visual of my choice. Okay. So in this case, let's click on a funnel chart. So do not select any visual, because if you click on a visual and try clicking on a chart, it simply replaces it. it simply replaces it. So please do not click on a chart and do this. So please do not click on a chart and do this. Click on a blank screen, anywhere on the blank screen, and then click on a funnel chart. Automatically a chart will be plotted. Automatically a chart will be plotted and the data would be visible. Right? Now once the chart is visible and the chart is selected on the right side, you'll be seeing the fields called category and value, which are the fields or the options of a chart. Okay. Now to remove the sum from other charts, we'll be learning that gradually. So no worry, that's just a title. But again, as I said, you can do the same for other charts also. Click on the chart, just double click over here, remove it, and you will see that sum will disappear from the chart as well. But again, so please click on the chart. You have categories and values. So whatever field you want, you can literally drop it into those respective categories and value. Category is for text, value is for numbers normally, but you can drag a text also into a value. In that situation, you will get a count or something else. Let's say in this case, I will drag year into the category. Year into the category, although it's a number. Although year is a number here, but I know it's a year. It has to be bifurcated. So I put year into the category and I drag profit into the value, showing me year on year how much profit I have earned in terms of comparison. So if I consider 2014 as 100%, then 2013 was able to give 29% of the profit in comparison. And definitely if I click on 2014, I can see the rest of the chart reacting to that selection as well. Give this a try at your end, guys. Give this a try at your end. Codely, please post your question in the chat. Okay. Amar, you there? I hope Amar is away from the system. So the attendance, I guess Amar will be sharing it across. So my colleague from ExcelR will be sharing it. So once he's here. Okay, so to redo the funnel chart, no worries, I'll repeat again. So the process is, first, don't click on any chart, just click on the screen. You click on the funnel appears here, right? The funnel appears here. Once the funnel is here, once the frame is here, okay, click here, drag here into the category. This time you're not dragging it onto the chart, you're dragging into the respective category. Because if you dragged it in the chart, it will consider year as a value. It will simply give you a bar. It's just adding that here, which is wrong. That's why we are dragging it manually into the category and we are dragging profit into the value to see the output. So yes, my colleague Amar has shared the attendance link in the chat. So please take the opportunity to complete and fill the attendance. So I'll take a pause of 2 minutes here. Great, great. The chart is reversed because it might be in descending order. So you can go to the 3 dot here and sort your axis. So depending on year, it would be in descending, ascending. So Just a matter of sorting. So, okay, anyways, I'll take a pause of 2 minutes so that everyone can just mark their attendance. Just 31 right now, so I'll wait till 33. So please get your attendance done, guys, fast. And once it is done, please type done in the chat box. Great, great. Swapna, please post your question in the chat. Same goes for Vinay. One more minute. Swapna, please post your question in the chat. Okay. Sanjay, let's see if I'm able to do that. I'll definitely give a fast overview of whatever was done today. So no worries. Let's see, we can do that. So if you want to add month and year both, it becomes a hierarchy. We have not learned hierarchy yet, but just to help you understand, if I take up year and month both, so it would come something like this. On the visual level, it's not there, but in reality, you can have, let's say, 2014 monthly breakup. You can have an output like this, but we have not learned that right now. So we'll be doing it on a later stage. So for now, we just stick to this yearly month-wise report. We will be learning it in a future date. So I hope that answers your question. Kapil? Yeah. To swap X and Y axis, you just have to switch it down, like just flip it. That's it. Great, great. Okay, guys, time's up. So now I'm proceeding further. Now the next visual, the last visual on this particular screen that I'll be working on would be a tree map. So tree map is basically a higher version of a pie chart. So first let me do the pie chart and then I'll switch it to a tree map. So let's pick a pie chart here. So the rest of the remaining space will be consumed with the pie. In the pie chart, there is a legend, there is a value, and then there's a detail. Legend is basically always considered for coloring. You drag anything into the legend, it will be used for coloring. For any visual, for that matter, if you use legend, it will be tagged as color. In this case, I will take segment. Let me hide the tabs here. So I'll be using these arrow keys to hide my tabs on the top so that I can have a larger space to work. I'll take segment and I'll drop it into the legend. You'll see automatically the colors are plotted. Let's say if I would have dragged, let's say sales, and let me take, I have units also, right? Let me take sale unit. If I would have taken sale unit here, it would have given a single circle with a total of sales unit. And then if I would have dragged segment into the legend, it would have given a segment or coloring of multiple layers from. This is basically segment wise output. But let's say if I would have taken sales here, it would have given a different approach altogether. So in this case, I'll maintain the report with quantity. So I request all of you to please prepare this pie chart with quantity, units sold to segments. Please type done once you're through. Rajlapati, please post your question in the chat. Cody, request you to please post your question in the chat. I won't be unmuting you guys, because once unmuted, then all of you guys are unmuting and then there's a chaos. So it becomes difficult. Yes, we can add new paper, definitely, Jala. So basically at the bottom, there is page 1, page 2. Right now we are working with page 1. We have not named it. By the way, you can also name it by just double clicking. So if you double click on the page 1, you can name it. Let's say this is DB1. That's your first dashboard. That's your first dashboard basically for the day. You can name it, and if you want to add more, you can use plus to add more pages. Yes, when you add new page, the same data is available in the second page as well. No, we cannot merge page 1 and page 2 directly as normal way. But yeah, there are ways where you can navigate from page 1 and page 2 and make it look like one page. Or there are other options like on hover. We will be learning in the future. So basically on hovering a data, like hovering the mouse, and you're seeing the information, right? In place of information, you can see a chart. So all those kind of output is possible. Okay, guys, is my voice not audible? Is it breaking or anything as such? Please let me know in the chat if it is. Okay, so for others it's audible. Okay. Clear. Okay. So can you just, maybe I'll try to go a little bit slow. Maybe in that case, it will help you as well. Okay, great, great. Okay, so now in this case, this is the visual that you have. The challenge here is, if I incorporate another layer into it, I have segment. If I incorporate year into it, yearly segment, I won't be able to see it. To show you, let's say I have year with me, right? I'll add year in the detail. And you can see it shows like pieces. It shows like pieces. That way I'm not able to communicate my message clearly here. I'm not able to communicate my message in the pie chart because it just simply slices the visual. And let's say as you add more layers, this particular one will become even cluttered. As you add more layers, this particular visual become even cluttered. To avoid this and to have a visual in a better manner, what we use is, rather than using pie, you would see majorly in my visualization, I would rather use tree map over pie, or I would use a donut, because donut allows me to have a center hole which I can use for something else. Like I can plot a number over there, or I can plot some other informations over there. But in that case, I will use it separately. But in this situation, I will use the third option, the next option. So the third row, last visual, it is called tree map. I'll click on it, and that's my visual. That shows me a block-based output and gives me a clarity of how much volume or how much value it holds. Shiv, to answer the question, which one would I recommend, Tableau or Power BI? As I would say, it totally depends on company to company. If the company demands Tableau, then it's Tableau. The company demands Power BI, then it's Power BI. As a normal public level, if I have to ask, I would recommend using Power BI because it's free. But in terms of learning new visuals and skills, even Tableau is a better option. The only challenge is the cost that will add. And then yes, Tableau, you will have to learn and put a little bit of effort there. Definitely, it's a very good tool. I'll not say it's not, because Tableau is not dependent. Like in this case, if you want to have another visual, you'll have to add it separately. In Tableau, you can create the visual directly. Like for example, if you want to have a donut chart, you can just simply put two pie charts, make one pie small, one pie large, and your donut chart is ready. If you want to have a butterfly chart, or if you want to have a like tornado chart, just prepare a bar chart, flip it. That's a tornado chart for you or butterfly chart. So their visualization is very easy when it comes to making it. Definitely, it also has a lot of pros and cons. Same goes for Power BI. So it totally depends on what your company is in demand. Nowadays, definitely market is in demand with Power BI. Earlier, Tableau was booming. Trust me, if I talk in terms of 2019 and 20, Tableau was in way good demand, more than Power BI. But from 20 onwards, 2020, 2021, 2019, like the end, Power BI was on a booming stage. Although it started from 2017, 18, but yeah. Salesforce layoff 10%. See, that's something, yeah. Because earlier, yes, in place of ClickView, Salesforce was getting used. And moreover, Salesforce was not getting used for visualization. It was used for data extraction, like SAP. So, yeah, I understand the point. But yes, definitely Salesforce was also for visualization. It was actually not meant for data extraction. Mahindra, yeah, that's exactly correct. Salesforce, but yeah, can't help it. That's how it is. Yeah, Tanaya, I understand. It is a task when you do it in Power. Like in Tableau, it takes time. Yes, definitely. SAP HANA is also available in Power BI. Yes, you need to just have the connectors. If not, then you can just load it into other platforms like SQL, and then from there you can pull it off. So if not direct, there are possibilities and options that you can do a via connection. That is a possibility. Akash, I hope that answers your question. Okay, cool, cool. So guys, this is basically the first layer or first level of output. Now, post creating all this, basically your first portfolio is ready. Kind of a demo or a mock for your Power BI. And as always, if you can click on any of the sections, you would exactly see how much revenue or how much is the contribution for that one section for all the reports. So please give it a try at your end. And please save your Power BI file. So please click on save and save your Power BI file. So let me just save it in my location. So I'll put it on my desktop in this case. Or let me have to create a folder. Just give me 1 second or 1 minute. Let me create a folder first. Yeah. Yeah, I'll save it here. It's just a standard save number. Just go to file, save. That way you can save it. So I'll just copy the path from here. I'll click on file, save. I'll just locate the path directly. And I'll save it here. So I'll just give it a name PBI, short for Power BI. And I'll save it. That's it. That's all it takes to save your Power BI file. And once it is stored, you will have something like this at your end. So you'll be seeing an icon like this. This is how your Power BI will look like once it is stored. So please complete it here and please type down in the chat box. That's great. That's great. Perfect. Perfect. So because we'll be using the same interface, same Power BI file in our future sessions also. So to see the percentage, you just have to hover the mouse, that is 1. So I'm not shown that section yet because that is where you have to use the brush, the formatting. So in formatting, we have not done much. We have just played around a little bit more. We will be learning that in the later stage. But again, just to answer the question, you click on any of the visual and on the brush, there's an option called data like label. You turn it on and that label appears or the numbers are represented on the screen. So like an on and off button. So we'll be learning this on a detailed output on Monday. But for now, this is all what we are doing here. So yeah. So okay, a very basic question. As we are at the weekend, so tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday. You guys have 2 days with you guys. Will it be okay if I ask you to do something? Yes or no in the chat? You may have to invest maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but yes. So basically what I want you to do is, guys, as you understand a little bit of Power BI, please, I would request, now this is just a sample that we have created together, right? I would request all of you to create a fresh page, give it a name, MyDB. That's short for My Dashboard. MyDB, I just named it wrong. My Dashboard, and please prepare your dashboard that you would like to have. Now, let me help you understand why. As of today, you are creating this dashboard with the basic minimum knowledge that you have. Right? Basic minimum knowledge. Just 1 day is what you have learned about Power BI. Understand? Using that knowledge, try preparing a dashboard and see what you can make with just minimum knowledge. And then once we are at the end, you try modifying this and you will see the difference as you gradually go in. So this is for you guys to track your growth or track your learning. And you would see as you get learning, as you get more learning, how your Power BI develops. And imagine the same thing as you learn even better. What we are doing here is maybe I can say the tip of the iceberg. In the 7 days, in the coming 7 days, what you're learning is a tip of the iceberg. And once you learn in detail, you'll get a better understanding, a huge understanding of what can Power BI do for you. Anyways, that's about it, guys, from my end for the day. So any questions or queries, please post it in the chat. If not, then I'll hand over the platform to Amar here. So Amar, in that case, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So guys, one announcement is there. Tomorrow we don't have a session, so we'll meet on Monday directly. Yes, asking for attendance link. One moment, Ish. I'm sharing attendance link once again. Guys, mark your attendance and give your valuable feedback.
As always, guys. Sorry. Please go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. Nothing.
I just want to ask, so as always, please, in the scale of 1 to 5, please do rate today's session in terms of topic. So in scale of 1 to 5. Thank you. Yeah, over to you, Amar. Sorry for the interruption.
No, nothing from my side. Prajakta, please drop a mail on edl@excelr.com. Our team will help you to how to access the recording sessions. Yes, Sachin, we have question that tomorrow is no session. Yes, tomorrow there is no session. We'll meet directly on the Monday. Prajakta, you need to log in on ExcelR dashboard. Then you will get the recorded sessions. There is one question. Do we have any assignment? Yeah. We'll upload the assignment after completion of the program. So Tableau and Power BI, both assignment is there. It's just for your practice. No need to submit that assignments. Sakshi, actually, we are using Tableau and Power BI both tools, so there are no notes actually. So just refer the recordings if you face any difficulties. No, 15 Jan is not last day, Shwant. Sakshi, if you face any difficulty, please drop a mail on same mail. That is the edl@excelr.com. Our team will help you. Okay, guys, if you have no any question, then you can drop up. Sachin question is there. This recording is permanent. Yeah, the recording is available for lifetime in the LMS. You can access anytime. In LMS only, Sakshi. Welcome, Sachin. It's okay, Sakshi, no problem. Anything else? Any question? Any query? So we'll wind up the sessions and we'll meet on Monday at same time. Bye all of you. Happy Makar Sankranti. Happy Pongal.